everybody, PJ Turner here at Big Apple Dance Festival. We ended up having a super fun class about West Coast swing with feeling, right? So we ended up talking a little bit more, something called the 6 different ways that we use contemporary movement, and then put that into application of West Coast swing. There's 3 primaries and 3 secondaries of those movements. The first 3 that we talked about is something you can do through the entirety of West Coast swing. The second 3 you can only do in accenting content of West Coast swing. So the first thing we talked about was static. Static is very just plain flow. It just moves. It's flat movement. It's just a continuous or a continuity of movement. Cool? That would be static dancing. And then we moved on into what we call percussive dancing. We broke that down into 2 different pieces. So we talked about pulsing action, you know, the idea about pulse, 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 pulse. You're in your car window, you got the bobbing of the head, that's a pulsing action. We also got to staccato. We could also use staccato for percussive as well. So that's sharp, fast movement that we would use to accent a really fun or hard hit song. Well, look at this. This is pulsing and this is static. Right? So that's the context about how we would use that. The third one we actually call the swing. So we use the pendulum action to swing. So we always swing on the 2, 4, 6, or 8s of any song. Even though the song is not swung, you can still create a little bit of swung movement in your body to create that. So from a leader standpoint, I'll show a profile angle, and then I'll show from backward angle, 3 and 4, 5, and 6. That's the goal that we kind of use there. Collect, collect, touch, and then swing. Collect, collect, touch, and then you can create swing. From this angle, from a follower standpoint, you can create 1 swing, 2 swing, 3 and 4 swing, 5 and 6 swing. So that would be the idea that we can create inside of swung movement to add to our dancing, because ultimately this is swing dancing. So that was the 3 primaries. Moved on over to the 3 secondaries. The first one we talked about was suspend. So the idea, if I'm moving through here, or the matrix context, if I'm moving and I suspend, I would suspend to a very, very small percentage or speed of movement. Then I can pick that speed back up. So again, suspended movement, slowing down very, very slow, very slow, very slow. Active stillness, right? That's the context I think you guys had heard. Then you can continue on, right? So that was called suspended movement. We used something called collapse. We would take the arm up and then just collapse the arm. Collapse the head, boom, bring it back, right? Collapse the rib cage, bring it back. So the idea is a collapsion or collapsed a context that you could use. Then the last one we talked about, we didn't get into very much, is vibratory. So vibratory movement would just be something like a shimmy, be something like moving the hand, like to create something that's a really, really fast that moves through space in a very short amount of time. That's vibratory movement, right? You can use your feet to use the kind of vibration of the movement, Tina Turner to use the vibration of movement, twerking to use no, I'm kidding, that's a joke. But the idea that we can use so many different things inside the 6 different ways to put that onto your West Coast swing, attach your movement to music. It's not just like a choreography, or it's not just a standpoint about pattern structure. This fits everywhere. So the goal behind today was, don't worry about your technique. You're going to drop. We have to lose sometimes to make these odd movements. Then that turns into something that's nice and pretty again. Cool. So thank you guys very much. PJ Trainer Day.